Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you 3 exercises to help you score more goals on the wing. Just before we get into it, I want to say a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is where I bought my website, 7mlctraining.com, and from websites to analytics to marketing tools, they're the all-in-one place to grow your online presence and manage your business. Now let's get into it. So the scenario we're going to focus on for today's finishing exercises is when you receive the ball out wide as a winger, you have space to drive inside towards goal, and you're faced 1v1 with a defender. And in this situation, the defender is going to be on high alert, jockeying you, being really light on their feet. So instead of trying to dribble all the way past them, beating them completely, we're just going to create these half yards of space to get the shot away. Because in this situation, if you can shift the ball and shoot quickly, the defender is going to be blocking the goalkeeper's view, and they're also not going to have enough time to recover to block your shot. So this can be really effective to help you score more goals as a winger. So for all 3 situations, we're going to drive directly at our defender. When we drive directly at the defender, we engage them. They don't know if we're going to the right or the left. So it's really important that we drive straight at the defender to give ourselves more time and space and more options either side. So we're going to drive directly at our defender, and for the first exercise, we're going to shift the ball inside very slightly. We're not taking a heavy touch inside, we're taking a soft touch to the inside. As you can see, I've put a pole here. So this is just going to act as a parameter, acting as where the defender would recover to if we took too many touches inside, which is where they would block the shot. So we're going to try and get the shot off in between the defender and this pole here. If you don't have this equipment, you can just put down cones as a frame of reference, but we're just trying to find that gap slightly to the inside of the defender. As you can see, if I shift the ball just inside here, I've now got an opening to shoot. And if I get the shot away quickly, this defender is not going to be able to recover in time. If I'm quick enough, even if the defender lunges, if I've got my shot off already, there's no chance for them to recover, and the goalkeeper's not going to be set for the shot. So what we really want to focus on here is minimizing the time between this touch and the strike. If I start taking multiple steps inside of this area, the defender's just going to have more time to recover. So instead of pushing it, taking a few touches, getting our head up to shoot, we want to set up our shot with that inside touch. So as we're driving, we take the touch inside, and that sets me up for my shot. So after I push the ball inside, I step into the strike with my next step. So we take a touch, and it's a finish into that far corner. And in this scenario, I'd recommend going low to begin with, because from this distance, it's going to be very difficult for the goalkeeper to get across. So focus on the accuracy of your strike rather than the power or trying to hit the top corner. So we want to get it across out of our feet and then guide it into the corner. Use the inside of your foot, that's going to provide the most accuracy, aiming low. If you aim low on the goal and you're slightly off balance, and you lift the ball, it can still have a chance of going in inside that top corner. But aim low, pass it into the net, really focus on the accuracy and getting the shot away quickly. So let's review all of the details here. We've received the ball out wide, and we're dribbling at pace inside towards the goal. We want to take nudging touches of the ball. So we take a touch of the ball with every step, light touches to keep it close to our foot. This allows us to react if the defender suddenly lunges. So if the defender suddenly lunges, it's close enough to my feet that I can shift the ball to my right or my left side. Then once we've engaged the defender and we've gotten a good distance away that we know we can shift the ball inside to shoot, we want to take a 45-degree touch. We want to shift the ball slightly behind us at an angle. As you can see, this sets me up perfectly for a wrapped finish into that far corner, but it also gets the ball away from this defender's range of tackling, because as a defender in this scenario, I'm going to be jockeying backwards. So if I shift the ball at an angle, all of my weight's going this way, so it makes it very difficult to recover to the inside. If I shift the ball too flat, so too much beyond the defender here, all that defender has to do in that situation is step across, use their arm to block me between the ball. We want to shift the ball to the inside. That gets the defender off balance, then I can step immediately into that strike. Then we want to use the inside of our foot to guide it into that far corner. But we're going to aim low so that if we're off balance, it still has a chance of going in. So we drive, shift, and finish. Now moving into the second exercise, this is an evolution of the first. So we've gone at the defender a couple of times. Now they're starting to predict our movement inside. So we're driving at that defender, we take our touch inside. Now this defender's a little earlier to react. It's happened to them a couple of times and we've gotten the shot away. So now they're anticipating this movement and they're stepping inside early. So they're going to be able to block that shot if we try and get it off quickly. So what we're going to do here is use that defender's momentum against them so we can create even more space on the opposite side. So for the second exercise, we're driving completely at that defender again. We need to engage them, show them that we can go either to the right or the left. Then we're going to shift that ball inside just as we did with the first exercise. And we're going to make it seem like we're going to get the shot off in this area. We're trying to get this defender to take that bait. So if we take that soft touch to the inside, make a slight hesitation with our leg, make it really seem like we're about to get that shot away, this defender is going to try and block that strike. So this is the perfect moment to take another touch to the inside where we can then get that shot away. So as we're driving at the defender, we take that first touch inside, then it's a slight lift of our leg here, make it seem like we're about to get that shot off, and then we take another touch into this gap here. The importance with that second touch though, is that is your setup touch for your strike. If we delay any further, we're just giving that defender more time to recover or another defender time to come across. So we're driving at the defender, shift, shift, and then strike. Again, just on the other side of this pole, which is about 2 steps away from the defender here at a 45-degree angle. So let's look at it here. We're going to drive directly at the defender, engage them. We're going to take a touch, shift, and then we're going to get that shot away into the far corner. Again, if we aim low on the goal using the inside of our foot to guide the ball, not only is this a very difficult shot for the goalkeeper to save from this angle and distance, but it also gives us a lot more margin of room for error. So if we're slightly off balance or miss-hit the ball, we still have that whole distance between the ground and the crossbar to still get it on target. So aim low, and sometimes you might just put it in the top corner anyway. So let's look at it all pieced together. Engage the defender, touch, touch, and find that corner. Now moving into the third exercise. And for the first two, we went to the right with both exercises. So now we need to still remain unpredictable. And if you want to score more goals in any position on the pitch, having the ability to strike with both feet is not only going to give you more chances of getting shots away, because you can shoot both with the right foot and the left, so you'll be able to get shots off in different situations, but you're going to remain unpredictable against defenders. If I'm an only right-footed player and I make it very clear that I only want to shift the ball to my right side, it's going to become very easy for this defender. They just know they have to block the inside. But if I can then go to the outside as well, not only does it give me more space on this side, but it also gives me more chances to go inside on my dominant foot too. So what I'm going to do here is engage the defender. And if we really want to create space on the opposite side, what we want to do here is start to shift that ball to the inside. What this does is gets the defender on their heels going to that inside because they believe we're going to shift that ball inside and shoot either immediately or we're going to take another touch. So they're going to start opening up their hips to this inside, which leaves a lot of vulnerability on the opposite side, because if I shift the ball now to my left side, the defender is on their heels, has to recover. They're in a very non-athletic position, and it will be very difficult for them to recover to block the shot. But if we can bait the defender into thinking we're still going to the inside first, that's going to give us more time and space on the opposite side. So we're going to engage that defender, light touches, keep it close to our foot, slight touch to the inside, even softer than exercise one. So in exercise one, we shifted it to the inside to set us up for the strike. Now we're just moving the ball slightly to the inside. So it's a nudge, nudge, slight touch to the inside, keeping it close enough to us so that we can then take an inside touch on the opposite side of the defender. And now we have the ball in an area on our left foot where we can get the strike away. And from this type of angle, I'd recommend trying to get the ball low and hard across goal. If you shift the ball at an angle, goalkeepers tend to shift across to get in line with the ball, which starts to expose that far side. And if you get it low, the goalkeeper's going against their momentum and it's very difficult for them to recover to save the ball into that far corner. So we're going to shift the ball just outside of that defender's range of tackling, Slight inside touch, outside touch, and then we immediately want to step into the strike. Again, we don't want to take the touch too heavy so that we get ourselves too much of an angle from the goal where it becomes very difficult to score, but we also don't want to take too long on the ball so that the defender has time to recover. So as soon as we shift that ball to the opposite side, we then want to step into the strike and get it across goal. So it's a nudge, inside, outside, and get that strike away. And for this technique, I'd recommend opening up that planting foot towards the corner. This is going to help align your hips to give yourself a better chance of accuracy. And instead of using directly on the inside of the foot to guide it, we're using more the instep. So if we draw a line up our foot from the big toe, it's more this area between the laces and the inside of the foot. That's going to give us a good combination of both power and accuracy. We're hitting the ball slightly harder across goal, trying to get it into that bottom corner. Again, we aim low and we're slightly off balance. We have that whole margin of room for error, so it still has a chance of going in the back of the net. So let's take a look at it again. Nudge, inside, outside, get that strike away. So there we have it, 3 exercises you can do to help you score more goals on the wing. And just before I go, I want to say another huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is where I built my very own website, www.7mlctraining.com. It's become the central hub of my entire brand and has allowed me to put everything 7MLC training related in one place, from my blog posts to my podcasts, as well as my very own 7-day training programs. And if you enjoyed today's exercises and you want more finishing exercises to take your finishing to the next level, I'd recommend checking out Golasso, my very own 7-day clinical finishing training program. And if you've ever considered building a website and you don't know where to start, make sure you check out Squarespace, and by using the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/7mlc, you can get 10% off your first website. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.